welcome to Coffee with the Candidate. My name is Kimberly Blas, and joining me today is Dr. Judith Guthertz.
Buenas, Kimberly.
How are you?
I am very fine, and I'm so happy to be here and to see you.
And we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Oh. So, Dr. Guthertz, I hear you're running for the 33rd. Tell us your reasons and why.
Okay. Well, you know, I had served as a senator for 3 terms, and the last election I didn't quite have enough votes to come in to be part of the 15 that won last time. And I kept myself very busy doing things that I thought were really important and constructive for the community. Okay. For over a year and a half since I left the legislature, I did something very different, and I helped out at our public schools and became a certified public school teacher at Antolon Middle School. Really, I want to focus on, if I'm successful in this election, is public education and dealing with crime in our community and making sure our law enforcement community has the resources it needs to do its job. I don't think they're being given the resources they need to really have an intensive patrol of our island to protect our people and our business community and just the island itself.
So having said that, which career do you enjoy the most? Being an educator, officer of the peace, or a senator?
Well, I have to say I've always enjoyed whatever I've done.
Okay.
And being an educator, you know, I was a professor, a tenured professor at the University of Guam in public administration and legal studies for 28 years. Wow. And I loved being with the students. I mean, that was my life. That's where I grew up professionally, right out of graduate school. I came back to our island, came back home and started teaching at the University of Guam and did that for 28 years. And I ended my career at the university as Vice President of Academic Affairs. Wow. And so I had a great career at the university.
So if elected in this 33rd Guam legislature, what would you like to accomplish?
Well, I'll tell you, I really am going to focus on public safety and education, because I think those are the critical areas now in the community. I would like to see us put into practice the respect we've had before for each other, for the island, and I see a breakdown in respect that has hurt our community and has manifested itself in crime. Yes. And we have to re-engender that respect. Now that comes from 2 approaches. One, of course, is the law. Enforcing the laws to make sure everyone is following the laws and respecting the laws. But there has to be an education component to it all also. And I think in the schools, we need to reintroduce civics education in the schools.
So doctor, do you have any hobbies you want to share with us that you do on the weekends, weekdays?
Sure. Well, you know, I'm a car aficionado, and I still have my '61 Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh wow!
And that was displayed up at the Micronesian Mall during the Volkswagen and classic car show with Dr. Shea about 3 weeks ago. So I enjoyed doing that. I inherited that interest in cars from my father, because he was a car aficionado, and I learned a lot about vehicles and the engineering of vehicles and how to take care of them from my father. So that's a hobby of mine. I don't travel a lot. I'm not into luxurious handbags or very expensive fashionable clothing. So those are the kind of hobbies that I enjoy. And the last one is dancing. I love to dance.
Well, I heard you were dancing last night.
Oh, I'll dance anywhere. Anytime I can dance, I'll dance.
So what are some of your favorite dance songs?
Well, I love Latin dances and dance Latin songs. So Latin groups and groups with a lot of rhythm, bands that have a lot of rhythm to them, I enjoy. When I do travel, whenever I go to the Philippines, I have former classmates from there, and they take me out to all the really nice dance clubs there. And these are live bands, full bands with brass and everything else. And I love that kind of music. I love some rock music, depend on the era, you know, and I enjoy instruments. When I was a student on Guam growing up, I had the great honor, and I'm sure many others have had it also, to study under Mrs. Dela Cruz at the Academy of Music, learned piano, learned guitar. In high school, Academy of Our Lady, I was part of our school band.
Oh, wow.
And so I still have that interest in instruments. So at home I play the guitar and piano and other things.
That's great. So in closing, could you share a story with us that all our viewers should know about you?
Okay, I'd like to do that. You know, I'd like the viewers to know that, you know, I was raised on Guam from my infancy. I was 3 months old when I first came to Guam. And my parents were business pioneers on Guam. And they started the Guam Dry Cleaners and the Guam Department Store. And there's some old timers on the island that probably remember Uncle Harry, that was my father, and Auntie Jo, that was my mother, Josephine. And they were wonderful people, and they were very philanthropic to the island. You know, their contemporaries in business were the Moylans and the Joneses, and they really devoted themselves to the community and helping the community. And my parents passed that on to me. And I have to say, I'm very grateful to the people of Guam. I owe the people of Guam so much, particularly our Chamorro people, for allowing me to be educated here from kindergarten all the way up through high school, to have served them in different capacities, and to continue to allow me to serve them in different capacities. And I'll never forget that. The people of Guam are wonderful. We have our indigenous people, we have other people who have come to Guam, made Guam their home. We have diverse cultures here, and I think the island needs to be commended for its acceptance of people. And I use myself as an example, you know, to have been allowed to grow up here and be part of the community, to be integrated into the community, and to feel welcome on our island. So that's something I feel very strongly about. That.
Thank you for joining us here at Porta Mocha in Agania for Coffee with the Candidates. We'll be right back after these messages.